Hi, I'm Kevin Klein, City Councillor for Charleswood, Tuxedo, Westwood. Today I had the opportunity to address our Finance Committee. This is the committee that our CFO and the Finance Department reports to. I was able today to address the contract between the City of Winnipeg and Shared Health. This is the contract that looks after the ambulance paramedics here at the City of Winnipeg. And as you may know, if you've been following along at home, we have been raising a number of concerns and questions as we drill down into what really is happening at the City of Winnipeg with our ambulance paramedics. And now we're starting to drill down with what's happening with the agreement between Shared Health and the Public Service. What's being said between the leadership at the City of Winnipeg publicly and how it's being responded to now, and so much more. I want you to take a listen to my address to the Finance Committee. Something specifically you should know beforehand is we're only able to talk to the agreement. And what I'm trying to do in this address is talk to the fact that maybe, just maybe, the city has acted inappropriately. That maybe we have made a few adjustments in our accounting to put a little extra cost onto Shared Health ever since they agreed to do a full cost recovery. A full cost recovery, I might add, that they agreed to during this entire time that the mayor and many others, including, as you'll see, Councillor Gillingham, say that we haven't had a contract. Correct. We haven't had a signed contract, but as any good leader will tell you, or anybody who has any experience in management whatsoever, if you have a contract, you continue to follow the agreement until you get a new one, if that's what both parties agree to. Obviously it is. And the province has come forward as Shared Health to continue to pay and pay more by giving you full cost recovery in late 2018. You didn't have that before, and you still don't have a signed contract. But they've come to the table. So who's at fault? That's what I'm trying to find out. Did we do something wrong? Like maybe we gave raises and moved money over that we shouldn't have. Take a listen.
The contract for ambulance services with the province of Manitoba. Some of these are just information that I have become aware of while looking into this, and hoping that it's something that my colleagues could ask of the public service when the time comes, as we don't have that opportunity to ask the questions from this particular chair. I understand that there has been difficulty in signing this contract with the province for some time, and we've heard the ongoing dialogue from both sides. Unfortunately, we've heard it in the media, which doesn't help lead to a definitive answer of what is happening with the contract or with our ambulance services. But what we have found out, and we discovered during the Assiniboia Community Committee meeting on October 5th, is that our ambulance service is in trouble, and that our response times are starting to lag longer than we had ever anticipated. That we have calls in the queue similar to that of the Winnipeg Police Service. People are waiting upwards of an hour. The chief told us that we do have 17 or more calls at the end of a shift in a queue. And these are things that we have to be concerned about. So as we're waiting to address the contract, I'm hoping that today this committee will be able to talk to the public service and get a copy of the contract that is in question so that we can truly find out what is happening. We've heard the mayor state that the people at Shared Health would like a $2 million cut in the contract. We haven't heard what that's for. We haven't heard what the details of those cuts are. And without knowing that, it is difficult to support that statement. It's difficult to find out if those cuts are necessary or needed, or where they are, because that information isn't being shared with us. That would be good to know. That would help us as councillors making a decision. Shared Health did say to the media, though, that the mayor was misleading residents with that statement, which makes it even more important for the public service to tell councillors what's happening. The mayor had said First Nations and Inuit patients will be left unsupported. And again, Shared Health said that is misinformed. That's not the case. That, in fact, Shared Health has simply told the City of Winnipeg to bill directly to Indigenous Services Canada, fairly common in these types of practices across Canada. So which one is right? Is it the public service that's right, or is it the shared health that's right? Important again for us to know so that we can move forward. We know for a fact that overtime is increasing every year now. We know that this year alone in 2020, we're on target to be over $1 million in more overtime this year than last year. We know that the service is having difficulty. We know that members are stressed, that they're feeling maxed out. And we know that we haven't added one new ambulance since 2011. Is that in the new contract? Have we had those discussions with Shared Health? Have we sat down with Shared Health to talk about that? These are questions, again, that would be nice to know. It would be nice to know if we have done something wrong that has put us in this place where there are difficulties in getting a contract done with Shared Health. I don't know. I don't know if it's the public service or Shared Health. Have we, in fact, raised salaries beyond what they would have agreed to? Have we, in 2019, for example, when Shared Health had agreed to full cost recovery, did we give raises to our executive team within the Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service? Did they get raises, and did half their salary get picked up by the paramedic side and half get picked up by the fire department side? This is information we need to know. Was this discussed with our partner? Are these the fees that they're talking about because they felt that that was not done with integrity? This is important to know. It's difficult to accept that it's their fault and not ours. There's been far too many discrepancies. And in my short time, I've experienced discrepancies in all types of ways within these walls. And that's in just under 2 years. If it truly is the province that's negotiating in bad faith and that wants to make cuts, there's no reason why we shouldn't be seeing the contract ourselves. We shouldn't be held in the dark on this. If we are unilaterally making decisions and not talking to our partner at Shared Health, who has agreed to full cost recovery, then we are in the wrong. That's not how you operate. That's not operating within integrity, and that's not operating within the parameters of an agreement. So does the city split the chief's salary? Do we split the other deputy chiefs and salaries? Was that part of the original agreement? Was there increases in 2019 when Shared Health agreed to full cost recovery? Is that fair and reasonable? Was that discussed with Shared Health? Are these the issues that Shared Health has with the city of Winnipeg? These are things that we are becoming aware of, but we don't know are factual. And as members of the Finance Committee, I'm hoping that you will hold the public service accountable to answer those questions. We simply cannot allow residents of Winnipeg to have to wait and wait for an ambulance. These are crucial services. And our residents want to know when they pick up 911 and call for an ambulance, somebody's going to be coming. And we know that 89% or more of all medical calls received in Winnipeg require transportation to the hospital. All of them. And we know that we're the only jurisdiction that does it this way. Is it the right way? Are we working collaboratively with Shared Health? And have we made some contractual changes or decisions without their consent or their involvement? I'm hoping you can ask these questions because, as I understand, Shared Health has said their costs to Winnipeg have increased 6% from 2019 to 2020. And they'll go up another 3% from 2020 to 2021, and that's for the Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service. So they do give money to the service too. So again, we need to find the answers out, because to go publicly and say the mayor is misleading residents, that's a bold statement. Somebody's not telling us the facts. We need to know the facts, and my hope is, as members of the Executive Policy Committee for some, and as members of the Finance Committee, you will feel the same as I do, that these are answers that need to be discussed, that need to be shared so that we can start to move forward with coming to a reasonable conclusion with shared health and begin focusing on delivering the best service that we can. Thanks.
This leadership is not only failing you, the taxpayer, it is failing the entire public service because it cannot lead with integrity. You cannot negotiate publicly and hope to shame another level of government into playing your game and not holding you accountable for something you have done within your own financials that may be the reason they don't want to sign an agreement with you. They're trying their best not to negotiate publicly and call you out. Possibly. Maybe I'm wrong. And if I am, and this is directed right towards our leadership, if I am, show me the documents. Show me the proof. Not your version of it. I want to see the actual proof and the actual documents. And then I'll support you. Until then, I'm going to continue to ask you to show me evidence and show me the proof. Because in the almost 2 years that I've been here, you have failed to do that. I've gotten wonderful 30,000-foot level reports, and then when you ask the tough questions, very little details. That cannot continue, especially when we have people's health at risk. Here's something you probably didn't know. The fewest number of ambulances per capita in Canada are right here in Winnipeg. We own that title, and we should not. We haven't added an ambulance since 2011. That's on leadership. If you have any questions or comments, please email me, kevin@kevinklein.ca, or call the office, 204-986-5232. We can no longer let this happen. We must clean up what's happening at City Hall.